I am back with another jam session with our amazing creative director from Mindful Goods, Anaya. This series is all about us finding awesome brands that we think have high potential on Amazon and then looking at them through our lens of conversion, giving them ideas of what they can do to improve their listing on Amazon to improve conversion. If you like this, or if you want us to review your listing and or us to consider your listing, drop a link to your listing in the comments below. What is the brand that you found for us today? Samabila.
It's this Korean brand that sells all different sorts of ramen related foods.
Why did you pick this one? I'm just curious.
I picked this one because I love cheesy stuff and I was like, let me take a look, but then it wasn't cheesy. It's just that the product is yellow.
And then once you got in there, you were like, wait a minute, maybe we could work some magic here with Mindful Goods.
Exactly.
A lot of our clients are CPG, so this is right up our alley. They do have really cool packaging, and I can see why you would have been attracted to this. All right, let's dive into this. Typically, the first thing that we are looking at is the SEO, because we want to understand, is there an opportunity with the SEO to move a lever in the direction in terms of traffic? Like, can we get more people to find this product? And a lot of times what we've noticed is that brands are not optimizing their SEO. And it's not just a matter of copy pasting information from your Shopify. There are keywords that people are typing in to the search engine on Amazon, and those keywords are very relevant to your product, and we need to put them back into your title and your description. So in this case, what do you think about this title and this description? Are you seeing that they've done that?
It's pretty well structured and it looks pretty organized. However, it is very underutilized. If we look at the character count for this title, it's actually 120 characters, but the maximum limit that you can do is 200 characters. Although it's very organized, it can include some important keywords that can help with ranking and visibility.
And then another handy tool that we use at Mindful Goods is we're using an AI agent that sits on top of our preferred SEO tool, which is Data Dive. And so when we run something like this is what you see for that product. You can see here that their original ranking juice is sitting at 135. That is their reach. But the potential theoretical maximum reach for this type of product is 341, right? So it's almost double the amount of reach that they have right now. So even if we fall somewhere in the middle by optimizing keywords just a little bit, they could improve their ranking juice tremendously. And if you look at the suggestions down below, this is serving up some key suggestions for you. You can also pull these insights from your search query reports on Amazon, from your PPC reports on Amazon. You want to pull as much data as possible together and start infusing that into your title and your bullets and the back end of your listing. So what do we see for the bullets?
The bullets are extremely underutilized. I see any keywords over here that are highly relevant, right? It's just like random sentences, just talk about the product. But if you scroll down just a little bit, they have so much text going on over here, which is making it so text heavy and unattractive. If we can take all the keywords that we're using here, get rid of this section and move those keywords to here, that will be extremely beneficial for the listing. If we look at some of the competitors over here, look at this competitor that has a very similar product. Look at them using all the important keywords here. Start their bullet points with the most important thing. It's dry miso powder. It's easy to use and it's delicious. It's 100% miso only. It's for various dishes. So even if the customer does not read all of this, which 98% of people don't, it's okay because this helps you rank higher on the relevant keywords.
Yes, and it's snackable, easy text at the beginning, so 100%.
Exactly.
Okay, so what do we give the SEO score on this one in terms of thumbs ups or thumbs down?
Thumbs down.
So there's some work to do here, but we are here to help you. So once you're getting found on Amazon, you're showing up in the search results, that main image right there is what we need to improve. And just having a photo of the bag is the worst move that you can make on Amazon.
Exactly.
So much potential here.
The reason why I clicked this because I love cheese. All right. And I honestly thought this was cheddar cheese powder or something. I didn't know. So I clicked on it and I realized it has nothing to do with cheese. I would have known that better if there was elements that were telling me what this product. So if it is a powder, then I'd love for the brand to have some sort of powder going on over here, because it tells me what the powder looks like, because I have no idea what's inside.
What we're striving for at Mindful Goods is we want to have a lot of different options for you to split test and come up with something that's definitely going to help you get more clicks into your listing. What we do in our process is we this image right here into our AI generator that has been trained on our best performing images for clients that are seeing upwards of 2,500% increases in sales. So we have definitely figured out a methodology that works, especially when it comes to main images. For this specifically, we would come up with 10 to 15 different options with the AI generator. Then we would fine tune it and polish it with something like Photoshop. And to show you an example of what the AI images that we're shooting for look like, we want main images that really catch the eye, that have things going on the screen, that have badge callouts that are easy to read, that show your ingredients, show close-ups of your product, that are really eye-catching, that are stealing those clicks away from your competitors. And I think one of the number one things that people say when they see images like this, they say, oh, that's against terms of service. We have been doing this for over 8 years, for over 750 brands, and 0 clients have ever been kicked off of Amazon for playing with their main images and trying to create something that A, helps the shopper, and B, gets more people into their listing. So I encourage people to have as much fun as possible with their main images.
Totally agreed. Let's say these are instant ramen seasoning. This is a powder inside. So we need to have a bowl of noodles that are smoking hot. There's smoke evaporation coming out of them. Then it looks so enticing because you can already smell it or taste it. So what you can do is make it as enticing and as drool worthy as possible.
Absolutely.
Something else that I also noticed is that there's a lot of badge fatigue going on. It says mild chicken flavor, then it says vegan, then it says ramen seasoning, gluten-free, makes 14 bowls. So what I'd actually do is pick 3 that are the most important. Okay, let's say it's gluten-free and it makes 14 bowls, so it means it's 14 servings. I would have it big and bold over here somewhere.
Yeah.
Super clear.
If you're watching this and you are afraid to put a bowl of noodles because your product doesn't come with noodles, and so maybe that's your argument. But let me show you what we did with one of our clients, Momofuku. You can see here that we leaned on the ingredients and a call out to show how many meals you're going to get from this. The key thing that you need to do with a CPG product or with any product is you need to figure out what is the key thing that the customer needs to see in the call out, right? What are those 1 or 2 or 3 things max that we know customers need to see at a glance? Here you can easily read that it's tingly chili noodles. Here you can see that it's 5 meals. And then here, ooh, this one's going to be spicy and garlic, right? This one's going to be soy and spice. So you can easily see at a glance what this is, and there's eye candy going on, and they already have noodles on their bag, so they don't necessarily need to bring it out, but they absolutely could have, and that might have been one of the split tests that we did. One more client that I just thought of that we have a case study on our website of that actually did amazing when we refreshed their content like this was a brand called Pretty Tie. Originally, they just had the bottles of their sauce, and when they added some eye candy to their products in the main images, their click-through rate went through the roof. And so this is the kind of fun and excitement that we need to be thinking through with our images. Anytime we can make something drool-worthy in CPG or in food category, it's going to help people identify this food for themselves and figure out, ooh, that looks really yummy. So we want to entice people to click into the listing. So that's a ton of amazing ideas. Add some call outs, make things easier to read, add some more visual cues and eye candy. After we've gotten found with our SEO, we've gotten clicks on the main image. Now we come into the listing, and this is where the heavy lifting needs to happen with your product images and your A+ content. So we'll start with product images. I'm just seeing all of these for the first time. Let's go through them really quick.
Something that I noticed right off the bat is there's no scheme going on.
That's the first thing I noticed too. Exactly. There's a lot going on every single image. Nothing feels cohesive. It almost feels like there's different fonts and different designs and different aesthetics on every single image. Exactly. So when you try to do everything with your brand identity, you're losing people because you're doing nothing, and it makes people confused. Is this a legitimate brand, or are they just making a million different designs in Canva and uploading them?
The first image that customers are going to see after the main, it's a nutritional facts, which is amazing, but I think it's a little underutilized. What we can add over here with these empty spaces are the badges. It's vegan, it's gluten-free, it's non-GMO. Just having them with the nutritional facts is amazing because that's basically what the customers are trying to look at.
Make it easy for
Make
them
it
to
super
just
easy for the
understand what they're
customer.
looking at a glance. The spacing is off here. The nutritional facts is only taking up half the screen. Blow it up. Let it take up the whole left side of the screen. Leave room for some kind of header at the top of the image. Having the ingredients listed out like a word soup, that is mandatory. You have to. But if you're gonna do that, again, anchor it with badges to show people just the highlights of what they should be reading as opposed to them getting lost in the word soup. By the way, white text on yellow is so hard to read. So that already is so difficult. You have to have a nutritional facts, but there's so many great ways to do it that actually deliver value to the customer. And this is a miss. Taking a look at the product images for Pretty Tie, the nutritional facts, they're called out, but with this big H1 header that shows 100% natural ingredients. And then we're saying what it is the customer needs to know about this.
If we move on to the next, if I saw this image, I would actually think the powder contains the peas, the carrots, the corn, and all of the veggies. And I'd expect that to be in the powder. And if I buy it and it does not have these things, then I might leave a bad review.
Right.
People might leave a bad review on it. So we want to make it as clear as possible what the powder looks like.
Even from the main image, I'm not understanding that I'm just getting a powder. I think that I'm getting powder and noodles.
This image can be so much better. I don't prefer too much graphics going on. I want a real image of a person enjoying the noodles instead of just having graphic. If we look at this image, they show the food over here, they show a few badges, and then they go on about the classic comfort. It's like different things going on in one image. What we want to try is make sure that every image shows and tells just one thing.
And then what's the hierarchy of the things that you're trying to tell them? So if I'm coming in here as a customer, first of all, I'm like, okay, is this a powder or just noodles, or does it have both? What's in it? That's the first thing. Like, what's in it? What do I get when I buy this? And then the second thing is, okay, is it just I add noodles, or what is the process for me to make something? Show me some things that I can make with it. Kind of like what we did with Pretty Tie. I'm going to show you those examples right now. When we scroll through the images, we're showing that they have a new look. Every single image is showing and telling. So we have these amazingly yummy noodles, but you're getting the sauce. And here we have the spice level in this infographic. And we have a H1 header with a subheading that's easy to read. Everything is mobile friendly. Everything is just yum factor on every single image, as much as we can show food with this product, because we want people to understand how delicious it can be to use this sauce in their dishes at home. So this is what we're striving for when we think about product images, and every single image serving a function and helping to convert the shopper specifically with every single image.
So the next image is just showing the powder, and then it says start with 1 tablespoon. So basically it's going on about how to use.
And there's no big header here, so I'm not really sure. Are we just showing that we're starting with 1 teaspoon per cup? The other thing that's throwing me off, this powder looks yellow, but the image that's pink, the powder looks totally different color.
Exactly.
So instantly I'm losing trust, and I feel like they're showing me something that's not even in their product. This feels inauthentic. Again, this pink on white on pink is so hard to read. Those little call outs are so hard to read on this image. So the idea of sprinkle on everything, I love. If you're saying sprinkle on everything, show me all the things.
Exactly. I mean, the fried rice, show the tofu veggies that you're talking about. Imagine. Look at the step-by-step going on.
Yes, I could see this as a product image. It would work really well. And that could be, add your noodle of choice. So it's letting the person know this is not coming with noodles. Drop our powder in and mix it up and serve, or whatever the 1, 2, 3 is in terms of the instructions. And you can repeat that in the A+ content with even more examples of different dishes that you can make with this. So I love this lifestyle image. I think it's really showing where the brand wants to go with their imagery, which is awesome. But it's showing me something, and then it's telling me it makes 14 bowls. And now it's introducing another question in my mind. Is the powder all in this one bag, or is it in packets inside the bag? Because now we're saying 14 bowls. At this point, I should be convinced, not questioning. We're at the later end of the product stack, and I'm still like, wait a minute, what am I getting? And now I'm confused. And if we go 2 images up, what do we see there? pair with our multigrain ramen noodles. I think that is important to distinguish for sure. I don't know if this image does a great job of doing that.
Yeah, there's just so much going on.
There's so much
I know that they're trying to be really creative and stuff, but it's getting the message across, and that's the most important thing.
Right. And the last image is them showing a variety.
Cross-selling all of their varieties. I love the line over here. One's good, all are better. But I want to know the difference. And then if I'm going through this listing, I'm going to be like, what if I like this one better? What if I don't want the yellow one? I want the purple one. But that's it. That's the thing. They don't tell me the difference. If we can split this image into 4 and have each proud and then with a powder in the front, so at least I can see the color of the powder and some eye candy, like this one's spicy, so have some chili and some garlic.
You could do it with visual cues in the front. You could do it with that little badge that they have in the corner that says beef, one that says chicken flavor. So there's 2 that say chicken flavor, but they're different spice levels. So if you just took that call out and you made it bigger so that it almost falls off of the packaging, and you could even tweak the colors so that people see that it's more of an add-on to the bag that's kind of striped over the bag. So it catches your attention. You can easily just quickly read it. Mild chicken, light chicken, medium beef, regular beef. So if they could quickly read those things and see visual cues, that would help them just easily understand this image better.
I agree with everything you said, but the thing that I don't understand now is that it's chicken flavor and then it's vegan. It says it's beef flavor and it's vegan. So how does that work?
What's the difference between beef and beef flavor? That would also introduce confusion in my mind. We got to clear that up, Samabila. So on the product images, what are you giving in terms of thumbs? I think I'm giving 2 thumbs down, unfortunately. We are at least trying to show and tell on every image, but it's not coming through in the right way. And so a lot of that is because it feels very disjointed aesthetically. It doesn't feel like a set of content like what we saw when we looked at Pretty Tie or what we saw when we looked at Momofuku. We need for the images to feel like a family of images so that it's not fighting with our brain as a consumer. We just want to easily be able to digest things, know what's coming, have things be attractive enough to keep our attention, and tell us the 1 or 2 things you need to know on every single image. Another thing that we do is we can actually run a PickFu poll to understand what is resonating and what is not with the customers so that you can focus on the highest impact images. And then if they're not resonating, those are the ones we need to focus on improving the most. If they are resonating, those ones should be at the beginning of the product image stack on Amazon. So this poll is not over yet, but we have just enough information within 20 minutes from PickFu. We can see at a glance the last 2 images in the stack. Those are the ones that are resonating the most. And surprise, surprise, it's the ones with dishes, which is what you were saying, Anaya, that we need more visuals of the food, of the dishes, of what they can make with this. And that's what we did with Pretty Tie. This is a key learning lesson here. So these types of images should be repeated as much as possible, and we need to make them even better. You'll notice everything else for the most part is falling flat. And where that's a problem is it means all of those images are losing you sales. Every single one that only has 1 or 2 votes means that it's not resonating at all with the shopper and it's not doing its job. And we know because we've tested multiple brands that one of your best performing images is more than likely going to be your nutritional facts, and this one only has 1. So that tells us right there that all of these images across the board can be improved. The 3rd best performing image is going to be the cross-selling image, which we've already identified opportunities for improving that one. So this can be a great place for brands to come to understand what is working with my images and what is not, and where should I put my time and energy? Because it can be a daunting task to overhaul all of your product images, but this is a great place to start because down below, you can read the comments that people are saying about these images and understand what is in their head, what is making them pick one image over another. And there, you can see it makes it look really tasty. It makes it look really yummy. We can lean on the things that people like the most and then try to identify what else they're not understanding about the product, what other questions we need to answer, what else is causing any friction in the buying process. That's the kind of things that we need to build into our other images to make sure that those images are actually converting.
So let's scroll down all the way to the A+. First of all, I see all this text going on and I'm immediately thinking, should I even keep scrolling?
Can we show people what proper premium A+ should look like? If we look at this, this content takes up the whole screen. It's really easy to read. This is not our client, by the way. This is just another one that we saw in the category that is doing something great. Look at how amazing this is compared to what we were just looking at. Oh, the before and after, that's brilliant. All of this is fantastic. This is how every brand should strive to present their content on Amazon. This is the client that we showed earlier with the product images, how easy this is. We have right up at the top, media mentions. We have the fact that this was made by a chef, showing all of the amazing flavors, showing the flavors of this specific product and all the dishes that it's made for, what people are saying about it. Look at how this flows from one image to the next into one massive landing page. And it takes up the entire screen, anchored by this brand story here. Again, this is what you want on your A+ content, and this is what it looks like when you zoom out. It's like a landing page. We do this specifically because we want to stop the scroll and focus on conversion. And we do that by building this landing page style. When we go back and we look at, this is really old school way of doing A+ content. It's where you copied and pasted a bunch of text from your website or from somewhere, and it's just not coming together the way that it should be. Samabila, you guys have such a high opportunity here for conversion. We've seen up to 80% increase in sales by just having amazing A+ content. This is a huge piece of low-hanging fruit to really get this right and help people understand your product and to cross-sell your other products. That image is the only really high-res amazing image. I can tell it was shot at Suna because we use Suna too, shout out Suna. But these are the kinds of images that you could definitely use if you were overhauling your content. And I'm sure you guys have more if you already did a Suna shoot. I want to see more of that. And I want to see it full scale. I want to see you unlock your premium A+ content. I want to see you put video content in here. And I want to see a landing page style like what we just showed in the examples. I think if they just focused on those components that we talked about with the SEO, with the main image, and up-leveling their product image stack and their A+ content, they would absolutely see more sales on Amazon without a doubt.
Agreed. If we scroll down a little bit more, I realized that they don't have any brand story. I like this brand. I want to know who's behind this brand. Wait, they do have it here. Rooted in culture, driven by purpose, rooted by an Asian woman.
I want to see a photo of this Asian woman who started this amazing brand, who did killer packaging. Show us who you are. We want the big reveal.
Exactly. And it should also be in the brand story, big and bold.
Yeah. And here's the thing with this type of product. I grew up eating ramen. I do not eat ramen anymore. And if this is a better for you product, then I want this product to scream that. I want it to say that multiple times over so that I feel safe eating a product like this again because I love it. It reminds me of my childhood. I want to eat this.
You evoke those feelings from these images as well.
Yes. So this is some low-hanging fruit for sure.
Absolutely.
So that was our jam session for Samabila. Maya, thank you so much for picking them. I thought that was a great choice of a brand for this one. And again, if you want us to do your brand, do you have any questions about our process, drop it in the comments. And if we should do more of these, let us know in the comments and we'll decide whether we should make it a series.